Oh my goodness. That, to say that, I would have to mention everybody that I know because to tell you the honest truth, it's probably around 1976, 77, the summertime, uh,
Wow.
mostly rocking. And I met my friend Jimmy Lee, who became my partner. We became best friends. And in 77, he introduced me to his older brother, Batch. And Batch was
Wow.
the president of TBB. And at the
Yes.
time, they had a rocking crew, and they did up rocking, but they did a lot of tagging on the trains and graffiti. And I wanted to learn. And over the next couple of months, everybody taught me something. I can never say that I invented anything or was the best at anything. I mean, I can mention millions of people, a whole bunch of people that taught me different things. I was very humble. I never bragged. I just learned. I watched and I learned, and I incorporated it into my own style and the things that I like to do. And from there, I just got better and better. And, when me and Jimmy Lee formed the Rocksteady crew, we got the blessing from Batch. You know, it was in the summer, I think, of '79, and me and Jimmy Lee wanted to do more breaking. We wanted to do more rocking, and that's what it was. So we went to Batch, and he was disbanding TVB, and he gave us permission to, expand, take our crew. So me and Jimmy Lee went out. We went right up to Fordham Road, Mario's, and we made T-shirts. We had T-shirts. I don't know if you saw a picture of them. We had our brown T-shirts with the white letters on there. Me and Jimmy Lee came back, and we showed everybody, look, we're making a new crew. And if you want to get down with us, you can. And I mean, everybody wanted to join. Everybody from JoJo to Trace to Little Mike, Rubber Band, Weeble, Mongo, Kid Rock, Bomb 5. Sorry if I didn't mention you and you were in there, but a lot of people, they wanted to get down with us. And that's what they did. And everybody wanted to join us and be part. We still represented the Bronx boys, but, we made Rocksteady and we were part of, we just branched out. And a lot of people, I took, back in the days, everybody saw it was kind of new. So everybody just copied everything they saw. They saw a lot of different moves from head spins to turtles to, floor, everybody's footwork, everything. So, I just took what I could do best and what I was good at. Everybody was good at something. Mine was a head spin, a swipe. I was pretty good on my feet. So that was my thing. I love JoJo. He's mad at me right now, but the truth has to be known. JoJo was always one of us. He's always been down with TBB. When I found out that he was denying that he was part of TBB, that upset me a little bit because JoJo was one of us. He's one of the guys we used to rob, we used to steal, we used to do everything back in from 75 all the way to 79. When we made Rocksteady Crew, JoJo was part of us. He used to go with us at nighttime tagging, graffiti on the trains. He used to do all of that with us, him and his brother Easy Mike. So he was part of us. But at the time, me and Jimmy Lee wanted to do this. A lot of the people, we wouldn't see everybody every day. Some of us would be together every day. Some of us, and JoJo was one of the ones that he was around. He was a good friend of mine. We used to walk all the way to his house on Grand Avenue. But as far as the idea of Rocksteady Crew, after me and Jimmy Lee made Rocksteady Crew, we went to JoJo and said, hey, this is what we're going to do. You want to be down with us? And of course he said, yeah, but it took him a couple of days to go get his shirt and all of that stuff like that. But so JoJo, I love him. He's mad at me now because the thing is, they have people. I'm very humble. I love to sit back. I've been sitting back for years watching rocking expand to what it is now and headed towards the Olympic, and I have nothing but pride knowing that I was just a small part of this, making this better. And to all the rockers, all the B-boys, the B-girls, I couldn't be more proud in the world. I don't expect fame. I don't expect anything. I just love seeing it grow into what it is today. When I was a little knucklehead kid, 14, 15 years old, and doing all that bad stuff in the Bronx, New York, I never in a million years expected it to turn what it is now. But there are some people, for some reason, they're really upset because, I don't know, they feel like they didn't get their their 5 minutes of glory, or nobody acknowledged them as being, part of that history. And they really take it personally, and it bothers them. And to me, all I can say is, you were there. To me, just knowing I was there is all the satisfaction I need. I don't need to see my name in lights. I don't need nobody telling me, hey, you were one of the founding members. If nobody ever said I was a founding member, I would still feel the same pride, because in my heart, I know what I did and where I was. So I don't need nobody to give me that. I already have it. You know what I mean? 81, I left New York and I joined the Navy. I don't know if you know that, but I joined the Navy. And I only intended to stay in the Navy for 4 years and get my GI Bill and go to college, because I wanted to be a lawyer. That was my plan. I was a bad kid, but I was a little bit smart. So that was my plan. But I joined the Navy, and my first duty station was in Japan. And I stayed there for 3 years, and I learned how to speak Japanese, and I loved it. I had a wonderful time in the Navy, and one thing led to another, and I wound up staying in 25 years. So time just flew. I kept in contact with Legs, a lot of other people over the years, Jimmy Lee included. I mean, but life happens. I watched everything. I watched everybody grow. I watched all of the shows from the 80s, from Beat Street to Breakin' to all of that stuff. And I smiled. Like I said, I didn't need to be part of it to know I was part of it. And I watched it grow. And every so often, Crazy Legs would contact me and tell me how things were going. And he always asked me, are you coming back? Are you going to be in this again? And I was like, no, I'm happy watching you guys grow. And then it just started expanding. I started seeing it go worldwide. I started seeing more people from every state, every country start taking part in rocking, and it made me so happy, and that was my satisfaction in my life. And so, yeah, I still try to stay in shape so I could do a little bit, but that's about it. I think in 2015, I went to New York. They had the 40th anniversary of Rocksteady, and I went to that. I just got on a plane. They sent me a ticket and brought me down there, brought me up on the stage and said, this is Jimmy D. And I was a little embarrassed. I'm not one of those limelight people, but I came out, supported, the cause. And I did that. And ever since then, every so often now I go to the colleges and do a lecture on hip hop. And the history of hip hop. I host my college sometimes. So other than that, and shout out to Melissa, one of the people there that brings me in. But other than that, I'm humble. I just like watching. I like watching how it's growing and it's developing and how great it's become. And I have nothing but pride. I understand how people feel. But me personally, and I'm just putting this out there, my personal belief, Rocksteady Crew is not one person. It's an event. It's a culture. It's something that we all develop, from Rockwell to TBB to every Original Stills crews. I can name a 1,000 different crews that helped Rocksteady to get where it's at. We didn't do this by ourselves. So one person should not be able to change the lives of the people that worked so hard to develop what they did and to get where they're at. Now, I understand the personal feelings and what is done in the dark will come to the light. But just like I sent a message to the vice president of Rocksteady Crew, instead of stepping down, you should step up. Everybody that feels that they were hurt or somehow were wronged over the years by Rocksteady, instead of walking away from this with disgust and disdain, they should step back up and be stronger than ever and ensure that the future generations of Rocksteady, that this will never happen to them. If we get stronger as a crew, and not just Rocksteady, but as a whole, this hip-hop community is stronger than, if we come together, we're stronger than anything in the world. And we shouldn't be justified by one person or one event, because I can tell you, this is not the only time that something like this is going to happen. And if we prove to be weak in the face of adversity right now, what's going to happen when we go to the Olympics and beyond? We have to stay strong together. And we have to make our culture known. We came from poverty, crime, death, incarceration.
So let's
Turn that into something positive for people to look up to. Do you think if what we did in the past was only negative, that we would be heading towards the Olympic and beyond? No. So for that, I put the challenge back out to every B-boy, every B-girl, every hip-hop artist, everybody. Instead of letting this bring us down, we have to get stronger. And we have to make this positive impact for not just for now, but for the future. What are you going to tell all of these little 9-year-old, 10-year-old kids that want to be B-boys and B-girls? No, don't do it because somebody hurt us once. No, we cannot do that. We have to move past this and get stronger. And we do whatever we have to do to make sure this never happens again to anybody. That's how I feel about this.
Question.
Oh my goodness. Our main 183rd Street in Creston was like the spot. You know, Creston Avenue was the number one place for us to get together. That's where we started our everything. For me, at least, most of us, that's where we used to meet. We used to meet up on 184th Street in Creston all the way down. There was a schoolyard there. We used to hang out there. We used to meet there. But as far as growing up in the 70s, we used to go to St. James Park, Poe Park, Roosevelt Park, Echo Park, 184th Street. Those are all the places we used to look. They used to have jams there every weekend. So we used to travel. Back in those days, we walked, skateboards, or took the bus everywhere. We did a lot of walking, so we had no problem traveling all over. But I think our starting point was up there on 184th Street. That was the number one place that everybody would meet there. And then we would branch out everywhere else. We would find out it was our network. We didn't have cell phones or nothing like that. So 90% of what we did was word of mouth. You heard it from somebody, you got a flyer from here, and then you would pass it out like, you know, the neighborhood callers. They would tell everybody what was going on. You know, Batch was one of my biggest influences back when I first met him back in 77, I think it was. To me, he was very smart. He used to always teach us. He used to always give us a lot of knowledge about TBB history and rocking, all of that stuff. I learned a lot of stuff from him, you know, when I was growing up. He was very intelligent. He knew a lot. You know, I had a lot of respect for him. And that's why I think I really represented TBB over the years, because I know he started in like 74 and started rocking crews in 75, and he used to let us know all of this stuff. I remember Cash and Shark put him down, and in turn he made it what it is today. He started a lot with TBB also, and it's TBB Worldwide. And he's always kept in contact with me over the years. He sent me my little, I was trying to find it. I had my little TBB necklace with my carved TBB emblem on there. I have it somewhere. I don't know where I put it. But yeah, I stayed in contact with him. There's a few people I still stay in contact with on a regular basis.